I like that lady's stuff that she said, and I was thoughtful about my response. And more broadly, though, on being a dog, like as men are dogs, right? It's funny, like, you know, like,
trying to be serious about it, you know.
Yeah. I'm not being like, I'm trying to be serious, like not derogatory dog. Like it's like it's a really interesting role and really acknowledging the dog aspect of it, like the good boy, the fetching, you know, the serving,
the rolling over,
protecting,
you know, the playing dead. That's it. Collect the insurance.
so you know, like you guess that people talk about, oh, well, you know, this idea of what if women like truly like were in all the leadership roles and stuff, like what if we call those things?
Like one famous comedian said, you know, there'd be 28 days of peace, and then, you know, several days of fucking negotiations, serious negotiations, but there'd be no war.
Well, yeah, but like, okay, it's quite feasible and reasonable, in fact, rational even, that men would be kind of kept, you know, to do intentionally for fighting purposes and stuff for sport, you know, that you would watch them and that would be arousing and so forth, you know what I mean?
Yeah, battle for the, you know,
biggest
swinger.
And not, who's
got the biggest swinger?
Well, yeah, whatever the criteria was, you know, like who could beat the most people up with their hands, whatever the metric was that was sort of valuable, I guess, you know. But
whatever it took to push the columns
down.
And
it was something about like how would have that occurred? And it would have to be, so generally, like, so the reason why the male, that's in that thing, like, but they could be kept in the dog row, in the dog, like in the kennel.
Forever gladiator.
Yeah,
forever gladiator.
That would mean that, like, that the environment around was somehow, I don't know, like you could be artificially, well, it wouldn't be very artificial, because really all women need to do is, and should have been doing if they wished, you know, if that since they just kill any, just so that they limit the amount of males, you know. And so
isn't that the case? Like, isn't there more women than men in the world?
Oh, yeah, but I don't think that's through intentional killing. You know.
Well, there's been a lot of wars since World War II. Like, you know,
we've
had dozens and dozens of scuffles in between time. And, you know,
but I'm not saying
going there to sort that shit out.
Yeah, but you're still managing to not go back to the birth. Like, women aren't actually killing men generally at birth.
Yes.
So there's actually a finite amount. Like, they literally control it.
Yeah.
Birth was traditionally, and I'm not aware of anything where men in historical, like, cave, whatever times.
The sultans and things have been in control of it.
No, but even in sultans, was the sultan there taking, maybe they were there at the childbirth and no women? Like, I just don't think that would be realistic. I think that the women in all those sort of scenarios tended to sort of be an independent force.
Doing their own thing, yeah.
The goal was for the production of, you know, like, not just heirs, but like basically the population of the city was overwhelmingly you.
Yes, that's right.
You know,
and if you had a different coloured one, you'd tossed it. You know, you wouldn't tell the king about it if you had a different coloured one, because it could have been just an accident. You know,
I don't think there would have been many accidents, man. No.
Especially with all them eunuchs around, right?
Oh yeah, like exactly. And you know, and actually, when we think about that, you think even about eunuch, right? Once again, a traditional role for men.
Truly unique. That's right.
Well, traditional male role.
Well, it's defanged. It's defanged.
Yeah. Like, okay.
Yeah, they can't bite. So, the snake can't spit and do its little bitey trick. You know.
In a certain ways, like the fact that we've got to where we are is possibly because that the women weren't dominant and that the men had some, like, because I'm not really sure. Like, you'd have to have some kind of scenario. I'm going way back, not to where we are now, but like where there would have to have been
Sumerian times.
Yeah, like, because otherwise, like, from even get go, it would require the environment,
right,
the environment around you would have meant that so women, that was safe in some way. So women didn't need male protection. So they didn't.
One of the worst things supposedly back then was the failure at birth, you know, due to the conditions and whatever they, you know, the more sanitary it is, the better the chances.
I'd say we've been, mate, do you watch how many animals? Name another animal in the world.
No, come on.
That dies from sanitary condition issues.
Yeah, well.
I do not believe even humans.
Yes,
like, that we didn't know how to fucking clean.
Yeah, come on, people. Come on.
Yeah.
History ain't what it seems, right? History is not what it seems. That's right.
Well, it often is. I mean, like, literally, it's like, how did we couldn't have got this far without knowing how to shit properly, somewhat, to a degree. The issue of where all of our toilet training, I'll say, actually, and behavioural stuff is...
And the piping of it away, that's right.
Well, it's because they're large in the volumes, you know, so then we've got like agrarian situation. Yeah, but you've talked about settled people. So you're talking about settled versus nomadic. Settled people clearly are, as soon as you settle and you start
a 4-foot hole, or, you know, you want to view this, that's and the other, and then fill it in.
Yeah.
Worms going to break that down. Something's going to eat it.
Yeah, that'll still work.
As long as you're eating the things that you're in proximity to, then what you outputs, they're going to be fine with eating that, cleaning it up and turning it back into dust.
Yeah, they will. Yeah, I mean, you could totally, and we did, and most of our original plantings are considered to have been due to shitting and shit hits and stuff like.
That's right. Where we were eating the seeds, and then automatically they were coming up.
Then we come back through in a nomadic way. And
the theory suggests.
I mean, that's
where we had our good feed, and here's some more of that food. You know what I mean?
Yeah, in certain places, I'd say in other places it was a little bit more systematic than that because of other so that's like an abundance scenario versus a crisis scenario where you work it out for other reasons, you know, and which was also like through ice ages, and there's certainly been other ones. But I guess like fundamentally though, like that the environment around was harsh enough and dangerous enough from other humans, the environment needing to gather resources. Okay, rats. I was having a conversation about there's a bit of a rat situation nearby. So well,
there's always going to be a problem when there's people in excess.
I'm just talking about what rats do. So if you have a rat situation or a mouse situation, the first rats or mice or whatever rodent you'll be killing, if you decide to do that, will be the males.
Yes.
So they'll be the adult males.
Provide them with a food source which wrecks their ability to reproduce.
Well, the males get sent first to die.
And that's what a lot of that poison stuff is. Yeah.
Well, they get killed. No, they get killed. They don't pass it on genetically. They get killed. They don't even. They get killed too fast to really meaningfully do that. So most of the edible ones, and otherwise they're traps. Well, that doesn't help either. And so the ones that get sent out after the adult males are the child males. So the child male rats.
Give them rabies.
No, they get sent out from the nests next to go and collect food. So the second wave you'll be killing if you're facing up a rodent plague will be the younger males.
That's right. The ones trying to prove themselves. Yeah.
Well, because all the older males are dead, mate. You killed them.
Yeah. This is a second gen. That's right. Yeah.
Well, this might be like a week or later. And so then when you kill off the younger males, when you kill all the younger males of the nest, right? Then they'll send out the young girls, the rest of the children.
That's right.
And then
After war you go.
The mother will come, or sometimes not even come and just die in the nest, refuse to come. That's how important the mother is, or the female of the species, man. Is like literally they will kill all of the male adults, then all of the male young, then the female young.
Pretty savage, man. Nature is savage, isn't it?
Yeah. And then that's when the adult females will come out. Yeah. So that's
nature ain't messing around. Yeah.
So it's in that regard, you know, the environmental conditions required women not to kill off most of the men.
Yeah.
You know, if we in the same context, like it's just like the same scenario. So you'd send out the adult males to get the food. If they didn't come back, you'd have sent out the younger ones, wouldn't you? You know what I mean? And then you'd send out, right, girls, you got to go out because we've got to look after the babies. And then if they didn't come back, all fucking the adults would go out with the babies. You know, like as humans, if we were humans, that's how we would do it. That's how the fucking rats do it. That's how the humans would fucking do it. Like it's just life does it for how the animals would do it.